Well, after 4 days of being suspended in the base that I'm actually serving in, uh, I haven't done Pokemon in quite a while because I've had some issues and the heat. Oh God, don't get me started on the heat. And I'm carrying a Heatran on this team, and it's getting hotter the more I talk about stuff. So I have a team which consists of some very good stuff that is designed to sweep, meaning Tyranitar sets up the sand and Excadrill, takes advantage of the sand. And since this is not 5th gen anymore, where the sand is infinite, I have to do so in a very limited time frame. But, ladies and gentlemen, this Excadrill is proof that even with a maximum of 8 turns of sand, it's more than enough to sweep your opponent's team. Now, this is OU, and my opponent was trying to be ballsy and brave, like, oh, the only OU thing on my team is, well, Greninja. And he brings Swallow in, he brings Mienshao, Nidoking, and Klefki, and that's good for him. If he actually manages to pull off some wins, that's not bad at all, actually. That's very cool. And I admire my opponent for that. But this is OU. This is the king of Tyranitars and Excadrills and Heatrans and Alakazams and stuff and Greninja. So if you're not bringing either of those guys or a team consisted of them, you're not going to have a very good time. And this is a battle where, this is an episode devoted to how good Sand Rush Excadrill is, how potent it can be. And it doesn't matter if your opponent has the best Pokemon or the worst Pokemon in the world. If you let this Pokemon set up all over your face, it will destroy your team. And this battle is living proof that Excadrill is designed to kill, not just spin rocks away or heat levitating washing machines that have been possessed by some kind of electric ghost, but it can do some damage to all sorts of things that, well, do not resist it. And my opponent's going to send out their Nidoking. I'm at the upper right I'm on the upper right side of the screen. It's as if my opponent is my own self. Anyway, so my opponent's going to go for the Earth Power. I'm going to set up some Stealth Rocks because I want that bird to take the damage of the rocks. And I just, want things to get hurt with Stealth Rocks. That's why Stealth Rocks go up. Anyway, so I want my Tyranitar to die, leaving my Excadrill ready to set up and kill stuff. Now, my opponent predicts me to go for an Earthquake, and that is why they switch out into their Big Bird Swallow thing, and I read them like a champion, and I go for the Sword Stance, because obvious switch was obvious, and after I take out the Swallow, there is nothing in my opponent's team that can take a +2 now Earthquake. So I'm going to go for the Iron Head. I can kill this stuff, and I just use my super sharp tip on my head, and I cut that Swallow in half, and it's destroyed, it's gone. And then comes Greninja thinking, yeah, I can take you on, and he goes for the Water Shuriken once, twice, thrice, and it's not enough to kill my big mole, because it's like, I'm a super destructive mole of destruction with iron claws, because I'm the Wolverine of moles, man. So yeah, in comes Gudra thinking that it can resist a hit, but no, get out of there, Gudra, you're gone. And I'm not going to touch you, you're not going to get your gooey on me, and Excadrill is too good in the Sandman. Sandman. Anyway, that was a very unlucky, coincidental thing that I did there. So anyway, Nidoking comes back in. No choice, Scarf is going to outspeed a Sand Rush, max speed Excadrill with max attack. So I'm going to go for the Earthquake. It is a very simple set. It is very easy to take down, so as long as my opponent doesn't have Mach Punch or something. But I still have the Focus Sash, so I guess I can hurt this thing. So this is the part where my opponent should have sent in Klefki first, and then Mienshao to take me out, because it would have been much easier and could have ended my sweep here. But no, he goes for the Thunder Wave, thinking, yeah, he can paralyze me. But ladies and gentlemen, Thunder Wave and Toxic is the reason why Excadrill was uber at a certain space and time period of this life that we live in, because Excadrill is such a good Pokemon to use in the sand, and it was virtually unstoppable. And now that the sand has the 5 to 8 turn limit, well, Excadrill can be somewhat stoppable. But oh well, it's not it's no Pheromosa or, Mega Metagross or anything in OU. But, oh well. So that is the first battle. And let us let us hop into battle number 2. Okay, so I'm on the upper right corner again. And my opponents, they have these very weird teams. Okay, they bring in Glaceon. Again, Greninja is the only OU Pokemon here, and Tapu Koko, of course. And then comes Salazzle, and Glaceon, and Tapu Koko, and Venomoth. And I haven't seen Venomoth since Pokemon Revolution. Now, as a player, I've been taught to actually fear when my opponent brings a random Pokemon like Venomoth or maybe Bayonet, which is an obvious Mega. Now, like Pokemon like Venomoth may seem easy to take down, but they're not because they carry the Sleep Powder, they carry the Quiver Dance, they can do some very crafty, sneaky things, and if you take them lightly, well, you're going to get swept because I've used Venomoth in the past, and Venomoth is a very good Pokemon to use. So, let us get into battle number 2. This is where the Excadrill Sand Rush Bloodlust continues. And he's on a rampage. He's on a roll. He's not thinking of stopping. So, I'm going to send out, my opponent's going to send out his blue thing. I'm going to send out my Tyranitar. And I want to get my Stealth Rocks up because why not? My opponent goes for the Quiver Dance. It really doesn't matter because I'm slower. Anyway, I do have a special defense boost to the sand, so I can take at least one Bug Buzz from a Venomoth. Had this been Volcarona, this would have been a one-hit KO. Guaranteed, I tell you. So, my opponent goes for the Bug Buzz, I go for the Stone Edge. No Venomoth can take a Stone Edge, not even from a Tyranitar with no attack investment whatsoever. So that thing is out of the way, and I am glad that it is. So I want my Tyranitar to die here because I need the remaining turns to be set up for my Mole thing. So Battle Bond Greninja is insanely fast. I've checked its stats and it is good. It is very good. But I don't prefer Battle Bond Greninja to the Protean Greninja. I'm going to be honest here. So Excadrill comes in like, yawn, what? Yeah, die, because anything that has any association to do with Ash is not good. Yeah, Pikachu and now Greninja. You ruined the one good thing about Greninja. So I'm going to go for a quad, super effective, delicious Earthquake and destroy this fab thing out of existence. So I have 3 turns left and 3 Pokemon to kill. Now my opponent is going to send in the stupid Bayonet thing, and I know that this thing can carry the Will-O-Wisp. So I'm like, okay, do as much damage as you can so that you can take it out. Now my opponent is going to go for the Shadow Sneak. It's going to do just under half. So I know that I can take it out with the second hit, no problem. Now, the right thing for my opponent to go for would be, I don't know, Destiny Bond, because I do think that this thing carries Prankster, so killing this thing with a Destiny Bond would have been a much smarter choice. That's what I would have done if I had Mega Bayonet. I should try it sometime, but now I'm not going to try it. I really have no interest in trying Mega Bayonet. I like the ordinary Bayonet set. So anyway, in comes this thing just to die. And I've killed 5 out of his 6 Pokemon, and the Sandstorm dies out. And in comes the Tapu Koko. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Tapu Koko so much. It's such a cool Pokemon. And he goes for the Dazzling Gleam, and he kills my big Sand Rush Mole thing. And finally, Excadrill is put down. If he had been around, if he had stayed around, he would have continued to sweep things. And now my opponent goes for a critical hit Dazzling Gleam, so I'm guessing this is a modest spec set or maybe a timid spec set. It makes sense. So I'm like, okay, I should have sent this guy in earlier. And Heatran can resist hits all day, and yeah, he's not doing anything. He's basically going to give me my health back. So I'm going to get the Toxic Poison on him. I do have the substitute, and this will be the game. And yeah, so I guess that's that. So my opponent forfeits, and Heatran, proving again how good a Pokemon he is, even in the 7th Gen meta. He's fantastic to use. He walls so many things, and his typing, although it may be weak to ground types, it is a solid combination, especially with those fairies running around, nerfing and neutering all these dragons. One of my favorite types in Pokemon, but I'll get to that someday, making a top 10 type thing, I don't know. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the battle. in this battle, I wanted to showcase the power of Sand Rush Excadrill. When you play your cards right and you've got the Sandstorm up, for as long as it stays up, if you can actually sweep your opponent, you shall. Now, I know that my two opponents in this episode did not have like the most defensive Pokemon in the world, but Excadrill is OU for one reason, so anything under OU will not take it very well. Take any Earthquakes very well, Iron Head any I forgot my English. So they won't be able to take Earthquakes or Iron Heads very well. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle, these two battles actually. So 42 days remaining. That's exactly 6 weeks. So in 6 Sundays from now, I will be celebrating my glorious freedom from the Hellenic army. I mean, I love what I'm doing as an F-Zone, but I really am tired because now the summer heat is actually starting to get to us. And if you guys know anything about F-Zones, is that we have to stand still during our service, no matter what happens. If it rains, if it hails, if it's sunny, if all hell breaks loose, we're not allowed to move. So yeah, the sun is not helping me at all, and it's a reason why you get dehydrated. You drink water all the time, and it actually tires you a lot. But still, I will find the time to get some Pokemon battles up for you guys. So if you're watching, I want to thank you, and I will see you guys in the next battle. Stay tuned because there'll be more coming. I'm not going anywhere. So goodbye.